Hello, Ariel. It was fun getting to see you brag about Syracuse's upset win over Miami this past weekend in football. It made me wonder, have you gone to interview any famous SU alumni in the past? Or who are some famous SU alumni / athletes you would love to meet or interview? Have I interviewed any famous SU? That's a great question. I mean, Bob Costas, that was a huge, huge deal for me. Any other? I mean, Bob Costas and Marv Albert are the reason why I wanted to go to SU. So probably it would have to be another journalist / broadcaster, but he's the main one and the biggest one that comes to mind. As far as athletes are concerned, Melo would be incredible. I was there when they won in 2003. He was one of my favorite players. Obviously played for the Knicks. Shout out to his son, Keon. Is it Kion or Keon? I'm not sure. I think it's Kion. Might be Keon. Frank, any idea?
No clue.
Yeah. Maybe GC knows. Kion or Keon?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those.
Yeah, okay. Well, I figure you have your finger on the pulse of the high school sort of collegiate scene. Anyway, we'll circle back. Very excited about him committing to SU. Others, I mean, I was a big Jerry McNamara fan. I was a big John Wallace fan as well back in the day. That team that made it to the championship game, I think, in 1996. I think that Mike Rotunda went to SU, or at least hails from Syracuse, also known as Erwin R. Shyster. So those are a few that come to mind. Connor, hey lads, 4 quickfire 2025 true or false questions. True or false? In 2025, Islam will challenge for double champ status. Challenge. I say false. Anyone agree, disagree?
I agree with you.
Yeah, I say false as well.
Yeah. In 2025, we will get a much-awaited Fury versus AJ showdown. I'm going to say true.
I think so, too.
I think maybe Fury loses to Usyk, and then they make Fury AJ, and everyone will bellyache that it's 5 years too late, but they'll still watch it, and perhaps that's the fight that he was talking about yesterday that will happen outside. Whoa, now it's all coming together.
You'd have to do that in the UK. There's no way you can do it in Saudi.
Has to be in Wembley or Hotspur Stadium. That's it. In 2025, will we get a UFC pay-per-view in Saudi?
Yes.
You think so? I say no.
Hamza Chimaev got to fight for the belt, right?
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, it could either be Saudi, it could be Abu Dhabi. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, very, very possible. They're going to have a show.
You can't say we'll see. It's yes or no, man.
Oh, no. Okay, so it said no. I said no. I said no.
Yes.
You say yes? All right. They have a show already scheduled for Saudi, right? Isn't it the February 1st card?
That's all right. They did 2 in Abu Dhabi this year.
All right, fine. In 2025, and by the way, is Rick just like abstaining from this game, or is there like some sort of protest that he's like, why?
My best quality is I only speak when I have something to say.
Okay, fine. I mean, so it's like you're just there, but I haven't heard a peep.
Yeah.
Maybe this one.
You guys got it. You guys have been cruising.
All right, fine. 2025.
Something I care about, and I'll jump in and say it.
Will we see Francis lace the boxing gloves again in 2025?
Yeah. I think
yes.
I mean, Turkey said he's got a boxing fight for him. He's got an MMA fight for him.
Yeah, I say so as well. Travis Borker, and shout out to my good friend Travis Barker. Big fan of the show. Very, very, very supportive of us, and hopefully he's listening to us while in bed. He likes to go to. He said he likes to go to bed listening to the program, which is maybe the greatest honor that I've ever received in my entire life, career or not career. I mean, that's just.
You put him to sleep.
Yeah, you could look at it that way. I could say, you want to be in your happiest state possible. What do? You turn on me, you go to bed. What's better than that? Can you please give us the behind the current story regarding your various poses on your new YouTube thumbnails? Did you do a photo shoot for those all at once? Did you change clothes to have images in different outfits? Also, did you have someone coach you in your unique looking facial expressions? Shout out to Josh P, who also wrote, "This is one of the most highly anticipated news developments in recent memory." If you must know, we do have a brilliant young man named Oven, who has been a huge part of the team. He makes our thumbnails. He's a legend. And he was telling us that like screen grabs just aren't going to cut it. So then we had our friend, One Lens in China, at One Lens in China. She came on and stopped by the studio and took some photos of me in action. And if you must know, I brought like 10 different shirts, and I had to sit there and talk to no one while wearing these different shirts so that we can roll through these photos. And I do believe Oven has also taken the liberty of changing the colors of the shirts to make them look even more, fresh and unique. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Let me know your thoughts in the chat. And by the way, thumbs up to the chat. But there is the full story. There it is. Ryan Brues. Hey, guys. Any chance you could give us some more insight into the negotiations and signing with Yahoo? Like, what separated them from the other big players, and what was the toughest thing to negotiate on? It was actually quite... it was quite easy, and you say easy, obviously, there's a whole process, but there weren't any big hang-ups. For me, the biggest thing was ownership, it being on my YouTube channel and owning the library and owning the content. I will say, as I've said before, it came down to 4 major players. Everyone was offering those same, stipulations, if you will. Like, it was all good. With some, we had to work to get there, but at the very end, all of that was equally on the table. 2 things I think kind of put us over the edge in Yahoo's favor. Number 1, the website component was huge. Wanted that as well. I would say 2 of them didn't really offer that, and 1 did. And then the other one was just everything that they're building here. And as I've said, Ryan Spoon, the newish president, at this point, it's not really new. I mean, it's been a year and a half, but at the time, newish president of Yahoo Sports, Sam Farber, the whole team here. I was very, very impressed with the direction that they were going, with the freedom, with the ownership, with the partnership, and it just felt like the right fit. And I feel like we have been, it's 2 months in. You could still say a honeymoon phase, but we have been validated. Like, there are so many people that are here to help us make this show as good as possible. And I always talk about working through the kinks and all that stuff, but there is a plethora of people. They do a Yahoo Finance show, which you guys got a glimpse of during the Rampage interview. Like, it's a high-level production, and people come here and they see that and they feel that, and we see it and feel it as well. And then you couple that with the website and everything that they're doing and building over there, and everything that we have done over there as well. There's incredible. I mean, every day I just go on that website and I look at all the content that is up there, and I'm so proud of it and how it's all flowing so nicely between the different forms of combat sports. There's a great story up right now by Chuck Mindenhall on that Turkey bit of news. Another great column from Keith Idek on Tank Davis's day yesterday, and on and on and on it goes. So I'm just over the moon. I sit back and look at it. We're doing a lot. We're here a lot. I don't think like we're oversaturating. I think we're pumping out a lot of good content. I think that we're doing stuff with partners like DAZN. We're doing Helwani Vision. We have other things in the work as well. Like, this is quite literally the dream. This is exactly all I wanted to do. I don't really want to do much else. Coming in here, doing the show, interviewing the biggest names in sports, combat sports, whatever you want to say, and talking to people, interacting live is really all that I ever wanted to do. And there's great, there's great little mini trips, byproducts, opportunities, things of that nature. There's great stuff like that pop up. The in-ring stuff, the on-the-road stuff, but that's kind of the Olympic stuff. Like, those are kind of one-offs, if you will. As far as the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of my life, nothing I really wanted to do more than this. And getting to do with this team back here, in the control room, seeing what they're doing on Thursdays, what PT does on Fridays, to watch. Like, it's just, I feel like it's all just kind of humming together, and I feel, again, like we're only scratching the surface. That does remind me, as we're talking about live and shows and content and whatnot, couldn't help but notice that my good friend Flat Earth Froch responded once again to me.
Hey, Carl, good to see you.
Yes, and that was my reaction when I see him continue to go low with the clown mask and, digging up the old hits, the 199 crying video, the same old shit that everyone brings up each and every time they try to hit me below the belt. Like I haven't heard this a gazillion times over the past 8.5 years. I have polled the control room. I have polled the members. They all say, let it go. You 10-7'd him a couple times. Let it go, let it go. Don't stoop, don't stoop, don't stoop. And so I had a whole bunch of things that I wanted to reply. I wanted to talk about how he continues to not answer, which charity and what percentage goes to charity, and why do you keep talking about Jake Paul if you feel like he's making the sport of boxing a joke? And can you at least acknowledge that you don't really talk about anything other than the top level stuff? You don't even talk about Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, for God's sakes, and that you are just kind of annoyed by the fact that someone is pushing back because everyone keeps telling me, don't respond. He's the Cobra. He's the Cobra. You don't want to respond. You don't want to get in his way. Feel his wrath. Well, one thing I know about Cobras, they are snakes. And we are seeing this from Mr. Flat Earth Froch. And so I'm not going to respond. I'm not, I promise. They told me not to respond. Everyone told me not to respond. So I will just say this. I accept your invitation. You ignored my DM. You saw it. You ignored me reaching out. You ignored my trip to New York. You ignored coming on the show. You ignored coming on the show and simulcasting it on your program. And so I accept with one stipulation attached. If I may, I will come on your show gladly, but I want it to be simulcast on my show. But you can conduct it. You can lead the dance. But I want it on my show for one reason and one reason only, because we here, we shoot. We're live. We don't do the cutting up editing shit that you guys do.
Kind of like the moon landings were live as well.
They were live as well, Frank. They were live as well. We don't do those editing little tricks that you and your knobhead producer do. And so we come on here. We come on here and we shoot live. We don't hide behind anything. And so do it live, and we get to simulcast it here, and I'll talk about whatever. You want to talk about my pay. You want to talk about who I work for. You want to talk about my ethics. I will never talk about a fighter and critique their punching skills, critique their technique. I will never talk about that. And I will never insult a legend and a Hall of Famer. But right now, I'm not talking about your boxing skills. I'm talking about your work as a media member. And just like you like to boast that you sold out 80,000, I have a degree from the #1 school in America when it comes from broadcast journalism, and that is Syracuse University. You've never heard of it because you know nothing about America, because you only fought here 4 times, and one of those times was in a nightclub called the Avalon in Los Angeles. The biggest venue that you ever fought in was Boardwalk Hall. Point is, learn a thing or two about journalism when you start talking about my journalism. And so I accept your invitation. It must be live. Otherwise, stop talking about me. Stop putting my face on your thumbnails to get clicks, and piss off, mate. Piss off, Cobra. No one knows who you are, and no one cares about you anymore. We move along now to our next question. All right, James Portland. Oh, was that too much? I know everyone back there is mad at me.
No.
Nobody's mad at you.
They're mad. They're mad.
You're trying to make this like we're picking a side and we're riding with the Cobras.
I'm just glad to see that you heeded our advice and you didn't respond.
Yeah.
That's just what you would have said.
I said no. No, I had much more.
If you would have responded, you would have responded.
No, I had more. Do you want me to get into it?
No,
it's all right.
I think you made your point.
I had more.
No. I like the stipulation. Let's go live.
Okay.
Let's go live.
Let's do it live.
Let's do it live.
I'm sure this is going to happen for sure.
Well, then stop. I've made multiple offers. Enough. What's up, team? And I will keep going despite the advice of my team. My first question is for Ariel. How did your son do at his basketball tryout? He said it was L. He said it was an L tryout. Those were his words specifically, but he's very hard on himself. I think he did just fine. We'll see. He felt like he wasn't at his best. He didn't know what a triple threat was. And I tried to explain to him that you don't have to know all the lingo. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know what, even a full court press is. He knows. But my son is the spitting image of me in so many ways. I'm not even talking about like looks, but I'm talking about like internally, his anxiety, how hard he is on himself, the way he builds things up in his head, all this stuff, how emotional he is. He is exactly me. So I feel like I know it is an amazing thing to kind of understand what someone is thinking and feeling without them even saying it. And I try to tell this to my wife all the time, who is the complete opposite of me in the best way, because she doesn't get this type of anxiety. She doesn't overthink these things, et cetera, et cetera. And I know exactly what he's feeling and how he's feeling. And that's an incredible, that's an incredible feeling for me as a parent. And so I know everything that he's thinking. I know he wants to do it, and we'll see what happens. But I do appreciate it, TJ. Thank you. Thank you very much for asking. This is actually very apropos. Question for the rest of the crew, and do not be scared to answer because of Ariel 107 Helwani. When Ariel gets in his beefs or back and forths with people like Dana Bilal or more recently Carl Flat Earth Froch, do y'all ever find yourselves...
Hey,
was
Carl,
that editorialized or does it actually say that?
Good to see you.
I can't confirm nor deny. You can go look that up on the Substack. Do y'all ever find yourselves agreeing more with Ariel's opponents? Wow, let's hear this.
No, not really.
I actually.
Oh, sorry, I can't speak for all of us.
No, I never have.
I can't speak for all of us. No, often not. Most of the time, it's more of a, do we need to engage in this battle, right? We know that
that's my thing.
No
need for the drama, no need for it.
I felt like Brendan Schaub had
I don't know.
points.
I think I don't know if it's like no need for drama. It's more just like sometimes it's worth the battle, sometimes it's not. In this case, I just feel like
Carl Froch is not worth the battle.
It's not worth the battle, ultimately.
We're the opposite then, Rick. I send them messages pouring fuel on the fire.
Yeah, that's why I love you, PT.
What about this?
That's why I love you. And did you see that? And did you see that clip? I think PT, you were the one that sent me the infamous Patty clip. I had no idea. The infamous one, the one with the Dana interview. That was exactly, I think, almost 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was you.
I was like, sorry about that, man. You're like, what are you talking about? And I was like,
That's after he advised Patty on what to say.
So actually, everybody's ire, all your opponents actually should be blaming Pizzi. That's the one they should be going after for stoking the flames of all.
If you want to blame someone,
Peter shit disturber Carol.
Yeah. By the way, we are about an hour away from the big kickoff at Etihad Stadium. Forest versus City, and I know we're big in Nottingham. I know they love us in Nottingham. I believe some have said that we are the new kings of Nottingham, and so I want to let you know that you don't have to pick and choose. You can watch us and follow along, right? We're all ready, right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if follow along is necessarily.
We have a bug, right?
Yeah, we'll show the score when it's prompted.
Can I just see how the bug looks?
Yeah, let's take a look. 0-0 as the game
kickoff hasn't started.
I mean, what do you?
There it is.
Can we get a United and Arsenal one there?
You can piss off.
Yeah, piss off, mate.
Get out of here.
Piss off, mate.
Honestly, you might never get invited back to a Forest game
today. AGC, you're picking that side of Manchester today, is it? You're blue today.
No, I'm a Forest guy today.
Oh Jesus! All right, fair enough.
I'm a Mank when I'm there.
No. He's a red till he dies.
Do you know?
I'm just a Manchester guy through and through. I support both. But against Forest, I'm gonna have to cheer for them.
Yeah, Forest are a great side this year. In fairness, I told you when you start supporting them, Helwani. I said
we changed everything. They should be thanking us.
Have they put out a statement on their side of the Cobra nose beef?
Yeah, I know. I understand that Nottingham is. You see, by the way, I'm trying to move on. You're bringing it back.
You opened up the can of worms.
Nottingham is divided.
Good to see you.
Nottingham is divided right now. They are divided. 90% in favor of Helwani, 10% in favor of Flat Earth Froch. I mean, 10 years past his prime. Couldn't sell more than, I don't know, a couple thousand tickets when he was in his prime. And what was the quote? What was the quote, GC?
Everyone's going to know that it's huge. They're going to be hyped up because they're going to say, fucking hell, Jake Paul's about to get ironed out by the Cobra.
Yeah, they're going to say.
That is one of my favorite quotes of all time.
Ironed out like the flat earth we live on.
Frank.
All right.
Frank.
By the way.
Now we've talked about Carl Froch.
Don't steal jokes now, Frank.
No, that's a good one. Breaking news coming into Sports Center. I don't know if you guys heard, but the Cobra is coming out of retirement, everyone. Yep.
Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, they're going to be breaking
The Cobra is about to iron out Jake Paul.
It's going to be massive.
I love the iron out. That's incredible.
What's bigger than Netflix? Is there a bigger platform than... This has to be bigger than Netflix. What's bigger than Netflix? It'll be like Netflix plus Apple TV plus Prime... It'll be
TikTok.
If it was just like sent directly to iPhones, that would be the biggest way to reach it.
By the way, they'll have to broadcast this from the moon. Is the moon flat too? What
That's a good point.
What do flat earthers think about the moon?
Never actually wondered that before. I think the sun is flat too. I've never. Wow.
Yeah.
Those are serious questions.
By the way, Andy Koufax for the G-splitting sicko of Blanchardstown.
Oh, thank you.
Ian Gary's a man who generally offends my tastes and sensibilities. The lead-ups to his fights with Magny and Neal were especially dreadful, and he quickly made my list of most loathed fighters. On Monday's show, however, I thought he comported himself beautifully. Was this more like the Ian Gary you witnessed rise up the ranks pre-UFC?
I will say, like, Ian's always been that guy who was like crazy belief in himself. That's like I believe in what he's saying when he says like this is what I'm like all the time. I do believe that. Like he was always like, you know, he hadn't even fought pro and he was like, I could beat most of these guys in the UFC. Like he was that good as well. You know, I've seen some people in Irish MMA putting out his old amateur clips and he just looks leaps and bounds better than the vast majority of guys that he fought. I know Andreas Binder, I think it was a split decision win. He got over him. Obviously, that was a competitive fight. Ian obviously thought he won that fight, but like that's a thing that's been there since day one. Like that is that's what it's like being around him. Like he is like that all the time. He is a very jovial person. Like he is very extroverted. Like he will probably let you know within 5 minutes of talking to him that he's the best fighter in the world, that he thinks he's, you know, going to change the game, all that kind of stuff. Like that is who he was all the time. So when he says, like, if you look back on your first interview with him, Ariel, he was saying the same stuff. Like he thought he would give these guys at the top of the division a go straight away. People were guffawing at him saying he beat Hamzat back then. Like he definitely believes that, whether you believe it or not. Ian Gary definitely believes that. And that has remained true in every interview he's done for you.
Would you say he's just a chill guy?
Definitely not. No, I wouldn't say he's a chill guy. It's chill guy versus extroverted guy in this fight, I must say.
There's something about the way you say chill guy that I just really enjoy. It actually like when you say it, I think immediately of the chill dog guy.
You sent me the picture after the show last night. I was like, I've genuinely never seen that before.
Come on. It's a great thing going around the internet. So let's answer some more questions. This is from Jordan Saucer. Hey, Ariel, you have lived in 3 different cities in your life, Montreal, Syracuse, and New York. Do you have many good friends from all of those stops, and do you find it difficult to keep up with everyone, especially as all of your lives diverge and go in many different places? Syracuse, I mean, people that I went to school with, but I wouldn't say that's a big one. Montreal, it's easy because both my wife and I are from Montreal. We went to the same school, so we have a lot of the same friends. I will admit I probably don't do the best job, but I think I do a pretty good job. I'm just not a big phone caller. Now, let me ask you guys this. One of my absolute best friends is Daniel Wolf. I adore him like a brother. We've been best friends since 9th grade, probably like 3-4 of my closest friends. He's on the list. It was his birthday last week, and my wife got mad at me that I didn't actually call him. I sent him a video message. I sent him a voice note. I sent him text. We were talking about it. That's kind of how we talk. We don't really talk on the phone. I don't really like to talk to anyone on the phone. She said that wasn't enough. True or false? Who's right here?
You didn't attempt to call him?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to bother him. I didn't want to bother him. Bad news?
I say, like, if you try calling him once and he doesn't respond, then you do the voice note or the video note or something like that.
I felt like
What friends can't talk on the phone?
I felt like I was doing him a favor.
No. Come on. Who doesn't have 5-10 minutes? I talk to my friends on the phone for like an hour.
I mean, we're in a bit of a different place in the sense that, like, I don't really have, like, the 3 kids take up a lot of time. Wait, how do you have an hour to talk to friends?
5 minutes? You can't give 5 minutes?
So you're saying I screwed up?
I think you at least try to call him, yeah?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Are you fighting, by the way? We were just talking about you.
Yeah, I was on the phone with my doctor. He was clearing me 2 fighter now.
Are you going to do it?
No, I'm just kidding. But I was on the phone.
Is everything okay?
Talking with my friend, actually. We were just catching up. I was just wishing him a happy birthday.
Oh, wow.
I was actually, it was my dentist. New dentist. They needed some insurance information.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, really important stuff.
Live.
Yeah, it was very pressing. I was like, can we do this another time? They were just like, no. I was like, the Ariel Helwani show's on. They were like, we know, but
Would you
See,
be
you're not
interested
on
in like a white collar type of boxing match or something like that?
Dive deeper on white collar.
White collar, it's just business people. They have these events. They're usually like in a nice venue, a church or something like that, charity, that type of thing. And, there's headgear involved. It's all very safe.
Headgear?
Yeah, usually. Amateur stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that, but like I would actually like lean more towards the like back of a bar in Thailand.
Wow.
Like Michael Onceover was very inspirational in that. I'm not saying I'm going to go do that, but like if I were to do it.
Wow.
One thing I can say I'll never do, which like props to, guys like Ben the Man Davis and Oscar Willis and everyone like that. Like I don't ever see myself taking place in like an MMA fight. It's just like too many skills. Like boxing, I feel like I could train for several months and be like, all right, I can at least like handle myself. And like I'm also not doing like 3-minute rounds for 8 rounds. Like I'm talking like you said, white collar, like 2-minute rounds, 5 rounds. Something like Dr. Mike does.
Dr. Mike, legend. Someone asking, by the way, a super chatter, Derek the Dad, would GC ever do a Wimp to Warrior-like program? It's now known as Ulta.
Like Casey Leiden.
Yeah. Would you ever do that?
Man,
big
respect
commitment.
everyone that does it. Yeah, it's a huge commitment. And then just like also like the stress of the looming fight at the end of it. Like not only are you training 5 days a week and like your entire life changes, it really comes down to convenience. Right now I have a huge commute that I have to do every day.
Okay.
Like if I got close to the office, the 3 stipulations, if I got close to the office, if we could like have fun with it and make content out of it, like make it a series. And 3, and most important, that would like really make me want to do it is if someone did it with me. Like if Rick did it too, or Frankie, or just like anyone did it with me, I would be much more inclined.
Frankie, you in?
There's no chance.
No chance.
I thought that was a perfect opportunity for a who me.
Oh.
Not too late. Too late. Can't do it. I feel like we're working towards something. What it is, I don't know.
Are we all going to do a charity boxing match?
No. It has to be we're all in on
you
someone.
versus the Cobra?
No, bro, he would kick my ass.
Hey,
Yeah.
Carl.
By the way, that's the
Good
funny
to
thing.
see you.
Again, you bring him up again. That is the funny. This is the guy before the show. Don't bring him up. And I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. People think that I want to fight this guy. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hey, Ariel.
Yeah.
Thanks for the Dubai chocolate today. It was
Oh,
really good.
Did you guys like it?
Yeah, I had to keep it away because like we'll just eat the whole thing. Really good.
Can we get a review?
Yeah, nice crunch. Very milky. I was surprised by that.
Okay.
Do they make a dark chocolate variant?
I like the fact that you are going with this voice now.
Yeah, I just thought maybe I could distract you from
this again.
Carl talk.
Oh no, it's fine. I think GC was champing at the bit to try the latest craze on the internet, the Dubai chocolate.
It's unreal.
And I finally remembered to bring it in.
It's actually unreal.
2 thumbs up. Can we get a shot of you trying it right now?
Yeah, someone hand me some.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah,
Literally
Ricky,
the best thing.
Give me that chocolate bar. Here we go.
What is in it? Tell us what's in it.
All right, we got Dubai chocolate filled with kataifi and pistachio.
Shout out.
Which pistachios are just right up my alley. I mean, this is what the people come for. They come for the interviews. They stay to watch us try. I mean, it's a little bit messy. I mean, look, it looks like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it looks like on the inside.
Like ground up pistachio.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that's
crunch.
Wait, was that legit or is that fake?
No, this is actually real. Yeah, we're not air frying.
It actually sounded.
That is quite.
It is like the
So good,
texture is
right?
great. I love the pistachio. High quality chocolate. How much a bar this size cost?
I think like $8.
Oh wow, I bought one and it
pretty
was 12.
Okay, maybe it was more.
Where do you find it besides Dubai? Like,
We actually, my son and I went to Dubai on Saturday. We
It's so good.
Yeah.
I
would
could house an entire bar in one sitting.
Dubai
I would walk
chocolate.
off the edge of the earth to find this.
Wow. Speaking of which,
Oh, thanks for the Dubai chocolate. We're trying to distract you, and then you bring up.
Yeah, then he
something.
brings all of you. You can all suck an egg. Here's one from Abe. Hello, Ariel. I know you've been told to stick to MMA, but quick boxing 2-parter. I don't mean to be a Carl Froch and just moan about such an amazing card, but as a Brit, I'm disappointed we're not getting the domestic dust-up of Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi. Was that fight always due to be in Riyadh? Secondly, if Fury and Parker both win, do you see the good friends fighting each other? Yes. P.S. I'd honestly love JP to call Froch's bluff and present him with a contract where Froch uses one hand and Froch's purse goes to charity. Much love, your boy. But could you imagine if MVP actually gives him a contract and it states your full purse and all your earnings must go to charity as you continue to claim? We have to state the charity as well. None of this human fund by George Costanza nonsense. And you must fight with one hand tied behind your back, which you also claim. Do you not realize the nonsense being spouted off here? That I don't think would ever be agreed to, but it would be funny. Callum Smith versus Buatsi kind of came out of nowhere. And I just think that it's one of those, like, this is the gift and the curse. You're going to get the fight. And these are guys who, maybe wouldn't have fought, but you're also, you're going to get it in Riyadh and not in the UK. And perhaps that could have been a fight that maybe would have headlined a smaller Matchroom show or boxer show. But nevertheless. Here's Jimmy. Hi, Ariel. I'm back from my trip from the DMZ in Korea, if you remember. Thank God. He's all good. By the way, yesterday on the show, Pete C broke the news that they had declared martial law, but then afterwards he said that had been cleared up. Just in case you were following it. I got out of there 2 days before South Korea went mad, back in New Jersey now, currently close to getting an internship at NASA as part of their engineering program. Have any tips from you and the boys on standing out for a position that's filled with competition? I mean, go in there, confident, know your stuff, firm handshake, look in their eyes, present yourself in a professional way, get dressed up, do your thing. Be a pro, be a mensch.
Did he say NASA?
Yeah. Impressive guy, right?
That's super impressive.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Why? Why are you laughing?
I'm just saying, NASA, that's just pretty intense. You'll probably need to have a lot of knowledge about science and the shape of planets and that sort of thing. So you want to just brush up on that, and then you'll be good to go.
I mean, I'm assuming that he kind of lives and breathes this world. But nevertheless, I think if you're confident, if you're up to speed, if you're professional, if you show up and you're put together nicely and you shake hands, you believe in yourself, good things will happen. Perhaps it doesn't work out this time, but you keep that grind. You don't get too down on yourself. You don't lick your wounds and feel sorry for yourself. There are going to be roadblocks. There are going to be people who doubt you, who want to dismiss you. You keep fighting. You keep showing up. 80% of success is just showing up, in my opinion. Great things will happen. HG Spike. Yo, Ariel and crew. This next question is just for Rick for absolutely no reason. Rick, would you rather have a realistic tattoo of your own face on your forehead or 15 tattoos of Shrek all over your body? You have to choose one. Thank you in advance for taking this seriously. Seems like another easy one, if you ask me.
Yeah, give me the body all day.
Yeah, of course.
People love Shrek too.
Yeah. I mean, but it's
not
also
just
like,
Shrek 2, also Shrek 1 and 3, but people just love Shrek, period.
He's a fan favorite, and also forehead. I mean, remember back in the day when KD only had tattoos like where the jersey was? Do you remember that whole thing?
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant didn't have tattoos on his arm,
right,
and he only had the tattoos like where his jersey would be.
Yeah.
Seems like kind of the same thing.
Yeah, plus like the Shrek's a great conversation starter. The forehead is like,
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, man? That's 2 in a row that were just way too easy from this guy.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, if you're going to go this route.
Would you rather have arms with no elbows, so they're just straight and you can't do anything about it, or legs with no knees?
Legs with no knees. But like, what do you mean? Does it cut off at the knees?
No. You just can't bend like where your knees are to bend. You just have straight legs. You can't bend your
You're
legs.
walking like you have stilts on.
I'm going legs with no knees because then I would just go in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I guess
Like if
so.
you couldn't bend your arms, like you couldn't eat, you couldn't drink.
Yeah, that's annoying.
But in the
Couldn't do
wheelchair, like
anything.
your legs would just be
Look at
extended
this.
out. in
You're
front.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. Legs with no knees.
Here's one from YFG94. Hello, gents. I would love your input. I grew up mainly and primarily watching European football, 13 minutes away from kickoff. Manchester United fan due to the fact that my older brother was a fan as well, and me looking up to him, I became a fan. And yes, I know what you're thinking. They are definitely beating Forest on Saturday. We'll see. Now, in the past, I've never really kept up with any other sports, basketball, football, baseball, until recently. The thing is, I haven't chosen a football team, American football team to root for. So I present to you the following. Root for the 49ers, as it was my older brother's team growing up. I mean, did you see the Sunday night game? Root for the Cowboys, because when I was young child, my dad had bought me a cowboy beanie and had my name engraved in the back, and it's something I low-key cherish. Plus, it's my wife's favorite team. I mean, I get the sentimental feelings, but Cowboys suck. The Buffalo Bills, partly because of me following the show, and the other part, they're pretty damn good. You know yourself, YFG94. The Chargers, because that's who I low-key rooted for when I was in 8th grade, but really only choose them to have a response for when my friends would ask me. But I did know Antonio Gates, Phillip Rivers, and LaDainian Tomlinson from playing NFL Street and Street 2 on PS2 days. Played NBA Street as well. Fun times. Any input? I mean, it's right there. There's your answer, bro. You have a generational quarterback with a generational arm, an incredible fan base. The apple of the NFL's eye. Everyone loves Bills Mafia. It's easy. Come on. Ian from Wigan. So sorry to hear about Rick's varicose veins. Hope he feels better. Can we get Ariel, Ric, GC, Frank, and Pizzi's Desert Island fights? One fight you can watch whilst. Is it whilst or whilst? I think it's actually whilst. Stuck on a desert island forever. It can be boxing or MMA. Cheers, Ian from Wigan. 2 guys, and you could only watch this fight over and over again?
And we've already seen it?
Or maybe not. Who's Magic? Who are 2 people? I mean, give me Taylor Serrano.
Figgy and Moreno forever. Run it infinite times.
Jones and Gano.
I mean, it's a good answer.
Connor and Nate?
Connor and Nate. That is magic. That is magic. All right, there you go. There.
Connor and Chandler at this point.
Yeah. Another question about the Spotify situation, but we've already addressed that, getting the video up.
While we're on that subject, though, there was a super chat where someone wanted to point out. I think we actually have it up here on the screen.
Okay.
Spotify Wrapped is out this year, and what I could say, AH and the gang are in 3 of my top 5 pods for 2024. Here's to being number 1 in 2025.
Love a good Spotify Wrapped page or picture. And shout out to Volvo as well. His logo was a Volvo.
You ever owned one?
Currently do.
Sick.
Don't own, lease.
That's the best way to do it, yeah.
All right, thanks.
Then you get tired of it after 3 years.
I'm very excited about the Volkswagen ID. Have you guys seen this? The new version of that? Have you seen it?
I haven't, no.
They're bringing it back. It's a little modernized. It doesn't quite have the old school charm of this guy right here. Fully electric. I'm intrigued.
I like it.
Same color scheme, like the white on top and the color on the bottom, funky colors. Very intrigued.
More aerodynamic, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just a little more like this. It's like a little rounder, a little more modernized, but it's probably the closest I can get to it. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, Frank. That is not a Volvo. That is a Volkswagen, but I am intrigued. Alana, hey, Ariel. As a Raptors fan from Toronto, OG was my favorite player, and I was so sad. By the way, how about the lack of MMA questions this week? I thought we're supposed to just stick to MMA. I love it, by the way, just for the record. With RJ playing so well, I'm not mad at the trade anymore. Now that the time has passed, I wanted to know what your current thoughts on that RJ and IQ trade are, and if you're happy with the trade for Cat as well. Did you see the game last night, fellas? I mean, the Knicks of New York are playing spectacularly. Some home cooking the last 2 days, 40-plus points. They beat or maybe it was like 35 Pelicans on Sunday, and then just absolutely demolished the Magic yesterday. And they were vibing. They were rolling. Mikal Bridges on fire. Cat on fire. They may have 3 All-Stars by the time February rolls around. JB, OG, who's been phenomenal, and Cat. So yes, over the moon. Was sad to see RJ and IQ go. Love the OG trade. Love Precious. Hopefully he comes back soon. Cat trade has been phenomenal. Sad to see Dante go. Julius, I think it was time. IQ I thought would be better, if I'm being honest, in Toronto, but RJ's killing it. Fellow Canadian. Much love. I can't hate. All right, where's let me get a here's a fun one. Yonan. Ariel, I'm a massive fan, but bro, why are you so sensitive? That's an interesting one. Am I sensitive? I mean, I do admit that I am somewhat sensitive when it comes to like, watching movies and crying and seeing photos that make me emotional and all that stuff. But, when I used to subscribe to a theory when someone like takes shots at you and tries to discredit you that you just kind of take the high road. And then I was like, I'm kind of tired of that. And so why is it when someone takes shots and makes it personal and calls you names, which I've never done about Flat Earth Froch, why is it that when I respond, I'm the sensitive one? Why is that? That feels like a double standard, no?
I don't think you were being sensitive to me.
Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. Patrick, favorite segment of the week. Ariel, when you go on these quick trips to Vegas or Dallas for Tyson versus Paul, why not bring GC with you to document your travels, your run-ins with fighters, other luminaries, fan interactions? GC seems like the ultimate road dog to have with you and could generate some great content for Uncrowned. What do you say, GC? You want in?
Yeah, let's do it. Road dog. That's a high praise. That's a big compliment.
You could be my Evan Fox.
I have to be behind you, always filming and stuff.
I don't know if you want that job, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either.
Yeah, so I think you may have him confused.
I'm down to be a road dog, whatever that means.
Yeah, you just want to go on the road,
yeah,
but you don't want to do the actual filming.
Yeah, I'm not a cameraman.
Yeah, I think you're a pretty. That's Frankie.
No, that's a quote that Frank lives by. He's not a cameraman.
You do a great job.
Yeah, he does okay.
Frank, that is.
He does okay.
You could always get another cameraman. I mean,
yeah, let's get another cameraman.
You know who I'd love to have as the cameraman road dog is our boy Spence.
Yeah,
he's
that
great.
Would be great.
He's great.
Get a Spence in NYC, I think.
Me and Spence roll around together. The road dog.
I'm in. Let's get a sponsor. Celsius, perhaps.
NordVPN.
NordVPN.
Yeah, we'll just stream a bunch of shit while we're gone on NordVPN.
Averon.
Do you have any gum with you right now, Eric?
Neurogum. I don't have it at the moment, but I do love my Neurogum. Zico. Hello, Ariel and the boys in the back. I hope you're all doing well. I'll just get right to it. I've been a fan of Ariel's for so many years that I even remember and used to listen intently when Ariel covered the weigh-ins for the big pay-per-views, and I loved them, plus all the other tidbits that came with it. That was a fun time. We revolutionized that, by the way. They used to do the closed-off weigh-ins in the morning, the official weigh-ins. No one would broadcast them, not even the UFC. Now they've got a whole show. Just another thing. Urban Dictionary, People's Main Event, just another thing we don't get the credit that we deserve for. But it's okay. When the book is written, it shall be noted. Anyway, is there any chance these will ever make a return? I miss them so much, and it's clear the upcoming card could be bigger, but I wanted to see if this will ever come back. Probably not. I mean, that's a big thing. You have to get all the factoids, and you have to be on the air for 2+ hours. Why doesn't someone else try to do it? It was fun while it lasted, but we evolve, and my duties are a little bit different now. Santana, hello, Ariel. Greetings from Panama. The country, not Florida. Quick question. How did the resolution go between the two goats, Oliver and Walter, after the Thanksgiving kerfuffle? Will we get an ArielHelwani individual interview, a face-to-face, a split-screen interview? We need to know what is next in the Helwani bloodline story. The beautiful thing about my kids, and sometimes I used to lament the fact that they share a room, but I think it has actually made them a lot closer, the boys, as they have grown up. They fight, and then they get over it within a second. And they only started fighting recently. Like they're really, we've been very lucky as far as the fighting is concerned. They're very different personalities, but they don't they'll fight and then 3 minutes later it's over. I asked them, by the way, about. I said, I was ethering this guy, Flat Earth Froch, and I called him. I said, bro thinks he's the main character. And I said, he's just an NPC in this world.
All right.
And I was like, what'd you guys think? Did I nail it? Did I nail it? They're like, why'd you have to say in this world? You ruined it. It's not in this world. You just say he's just NPC. You don't say so.
Have they told you what NPC stands for?
Yes.
What is it?
Non-playable character. Come on, bro.
Proud of them.
Yeah. Oh, they know all this stuff.
Them's my boys.
Grab his Rick and twist it. Shout out to Ariel, the boys, and all the people who make the show great. That was quite the professional smackdown on Carl Froch. Mate, it could have been a 10-7 of colonial proportions, 1776 all over again, but I applaud how you dealt with the facts and the facts alone. In any case, my question, DJ Frankie Mysterio, can you please make the Red Hawk Roundup remix for the boys in the back outro?
That's a good question. Yeah. Perhaps if we could get the license, we can do that.
Oh, okay.
Are we just gonna blow by, grab his Rick and twist it?
That is.
I
It's a
mean,
great one.
that's incredible.
Beep. There he
I
is.
just wanted to hear it. I'm sorry.
You know, it's great. Andrew, what is your head shaving routine? Is it every day? Do you do it yourself? If yes, how do you avoid streaks? As a man with a full head of hair, what prompted you to go full head shave? Do you ever get glares from bald men in the street given your hair decision? My kids say I should grow it out. They're actually like really pushing this lately. I usually do it on Sundays, and actually last week my razor fell and I didn't realize that anything happened to it, and then all of a sudden on Sunday I was cutting and it was like scraping my head, and I was like, why does this hurt so much? And it was because the razor was loose, so I ended up like cutting my neck and cutting my top of my head and stuff because I was trying to go so delicately because the razor was loose, so I had to buy a new one this week. In any event, I do it every Sunday. I used to do it every Tuesday. I used to go to a barber. I just, during COVID, couldn't and got used to doing it myself at any random hour as opposed to making an appointment. And I just kind of hated sitting in the chair and having to talk and then being like, oh, you missed a spot and this and that. They probably could do, I don't do the beard that great. I think I do it good enough.
Hey,
And it's just a once a week thing. That's all.
since you were drawing so much attention to your head with your hand, I noticed you got some schmutz on the right hand side. Well, I want to update on the finger on your right hand side. Okay, we'll offline about left and right later. But
Yeah. Is that it? Yeah. Thanks.
I figured if I didn't say something, I would never.
I did kind of ask you guys. I did ask you guys before the show. Do I have
Okay,
any
well,
schmutz?
we don't always have the right
My
answer.
sweatshirt sometimes gives me schmutz. Oh, Samuel, could we get a moderator back? We are given the opportunity to ask someone who has so much insight and behind-the-scenes information surrounding MMA, but On the Nose has now become a place where people have ridiculous, unrelated questions. Who cares if New York Rick would rather be an invisible dog or whatever? Anyway, any news on Dominic Cruz coming back? But does anyone want to be a moderator? I would be more. I'm just going blind here, and I've answered 20 questions already. I'm just totally going blind.
I think this is the person that's been asking those questions, and they're just
Yeah.
setting themselves up.
Anyway, if someone wants to raise their hand like Spencer did back in the day for the social stuff, I would be happy. Like we had moderator Lewis back in the day, but I'm just going blind. Everyone back there is very busy, so I'm trying my best here. I'm trying my best. Dominic, I did reach out to. I did speak to him. Nothing's set yet. Let's see. I'm totally down with the idea of him fighting Henry Cejudo. I love that. All right, we'll put a pin in it. Maybe answer a few more. I'm literally just going in order, and I appreciate all the. I have a fun time doing it, but I can understand if you want the nitty gritty stuff. Open to all of that as well.
Do you
Frank.
want to hear a couple of these super chats?
Oh yeah, I would love that. And we'll stick around a little bit and see if Forrest can come back, but more importantly, if Tank Davis shows up. Great article, by the way, on his tardiness on Uncrowned.com by the great Keith Idek. I suggest you check it out. Not that I'm saying that he's big timing us here, but we're at the 2.5 hours, so we still have 2 hours to go. Anyway, Frank, what do you got?
So Derek the Dad, who has asked 10 super chat questions, that's of note. Will New York Rick and GC ever get to ask the fighter questions during the AH show interviews, sort of like the Pat McAfee show and his crew?
Oh yeah, I'm totally down with that. And there have been some times where I've like thrown it to the guys, but my feeling is, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I feel like you don't really want to do this.
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
It just feels like it's going to lead to the fighter being like, who the fuck is this guy?
you mean like Jorge Masvidal yesterday?
Yeah.
Where did you guys?
Yeah. He didn't say who the fuck are these guys. He said, where did you find these dorks or whatever?
Yeah, that wasn't nice.
That's all right.
I had your back though.
Yeah,
I'd call us
definitely
dorks.
had our
Yeah,
back.
you had our back for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, this is
man.
like when we're talking about the
Yep.
Froch thing and
Yeah.
Yeah,
talking
you're
about
like,
the
you
unity
guys don't
and
have
all
my
this stuff.
back.
You don't have my
Froch.
back.
Nah.
Yeah, that was.
And then
that
you
was
go on a public domain and you're like, I don't even know
I
who
would
the fuck these guys
literally
are.
walk in front of a speeding train.
Correct.
right?
You had an opportunity to be like, they're not
Nah.
dorks.
to push
they're
us
my
onto
guys.
the tracks. You
Wow.
walk in front of us.
And yeah, you threw us as far as you could under the bus.
You have no idea what was said. I said, Jorge,
Nah, we don't need all
you
that.
wash your
Now, were you
tongue
talking
Nah,
to
we don't
Jorge
want that.
or Abe or who was like
don't need
actually
all
tweeting?
out. No, I believe that would probably be his new manager.
Oh, who is that?
That would be my old friend Ali.
I mean,
I don't know.
I
Were
think
you trying to
that
walk me into
I
that
actually
one,
take
or
that
did
as a
you?
compliment.
no, I mean, then
Yeah.
what more needs to be said? The answer to the actual question is like, you're the best in the business. What could I possibly contribute to that interview that would be additive? If there was ever a rare scenario where I felt like that, I guess I'd feel empowered to do it. But it really, there's not a scenario where I feel like it would be additive. It just doesn't really make sense.
I do believe in, and this will sound very pretentious. I've talked about this a little bit. I do believe in the art of the interview, and I there's a sort of like a roadmap. And actually, this is the fun challenge of doing a show without where we're interviewing fighters or personalities or managers or promoters, whatever, because like you don't share the same brain, and so we actually will speak to each other during the interview to break the fourth wall. You go, I go, so that we're not stepping on top of each other. We're not talking about what we're going to ask, but you try to follow a map, right? As opposed to like asking a question about this and then skipping to that and then coming back to this. I see it all the time when it's a 2-on-1 interview, and so that makes it tricky. I think McAfee does it in a good way, and I think he does it in a way where like he'll have a long conversation and then he'll throw it to the guys for some sort of like offbeat question. And I'm certainly not against that in any way, shape, or form. But I think if the guys had something to say, and sometimes they've been included, we just had GC yesterday say something to Shavkat. So I'm not.
Yeah, Shavkat stamped.
He loved
on
it.
The hat and the best remark.
Also, let's be real. Like, this is not the role, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are doing a million other things.
No, well, there's that part, but there's also, if I had something that I thought should be asked, why would I not just give it to you? Like, why would I not say, hey, this is something to potentially ask about?
Yeah, great
That's
point.
what the producer is supposed to do. This is just not the role. You're in that chair for the reason.
I'm here to chat shit.
It doesn't really make sense.
I'm not here to ask questions.
Yeah. Other than for us to get, publicly shamed by Jorge Masvidal. That is what we're here for.
Here's an interesting one. Shooter McGavin. Hello, Ariel and the boys in the back. Thinking about potential matchups for the London card. Would it be crazy to book Arnold Allen versus Lerone Murphy as the co-main, or should they keep them separate to have them as many England versus the world matchups as possible? What do you think, Pete?
I think those kind of fights are great, just based on like Irish MMA over the years. The ones that elicit the most passion are, two guys from the same place fighting each other. So I think that would be really cool. They're obviously in the same kind of proximity of featherweight too. I'm not opposed to, like, the thing is, like, you can make compelling matchups for both. Like, it's not a situation where like these guys need to fight each other, but I do feel like that always elicits the most emotion when you're forcing the fan base to basically pick a side. It's always magic.
Leon, main event, Arnold. I mean, there's a lot of options there. I feel like it would be a little bit too soon for that fight. Don't hate it, but I don't know. I don't feel like the English crowd would love it. Agreed?
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, book it and let's see how they react.
Oh, okay. Wow, geez. P.S. GC, great shout with the Brooklyn Wren pick yesterday, my brother, he says.
I appreciate that.
How about that?
Ball knower out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guy knows ball, I know ball. We get
Civil Rhyme. Ariel, any insight into the UFC's deal with TNT Sports here in the UK? Does it expire anytime soon? And do you think we could see the move to another platform in the future? They just re-signed it like a year or so ago. TNT is about to lose WWE in a month. WWE is going to Netflix, so it'll be interesting to see if they pick up AEW because it's part of Warner Brothers Discovery, but they're not losing UFC anytime soon. That is for certain. I think it's like 2 more years, maybe 3. Edwin, what's up, Ariel and Co.? This question is more for Frank. Anyway, can we get Brian Battles' I Love It from his iconic post-fight interview on the soundboard? I love that one. I love it. I love it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Have we reached our max with
We hit
those?
the max.
So what do we do?
Well, I just have to get craftier.
Okay. All right. Well, please get crafty. FTMMA. Ariel, it's a cold winter afternoon in New York. Yes, it is. You've just completed another enthralling episode of the Ariel Helwani Show, and you're making the drive home. What is the choice of audio content coming out of the car's speakers? Is it music, podcasts, or do you just sit in silence contemplating all of the minor mistakes that happened on the show and how you can inevitably blame them on Frank? And of course, same question to the team. Wow. That is a great question. Quick call home. How was school? How's everything? Maybe a call to Jerry. We like to recap things. Jerry, my agent. Perhaps if someone called me during the show or before the show and I didn't get to it, I'll get that call out of the way as well. But as it pertains to podcasts these days, what are we listening to these days? Currently, right now, I'm listening to The Athletic FC, as you can see right over there.
Wow.
A great chat with David Ornstein, the insider, if you will, about how he breaks news and all that stuff. Talk about knowing ball. Hey, PT?
He knows ball.
Were you impressed with that one?
Fantastic. I'm more of a second captain's man, though, truth be told.
Okay.
You get your Spotify Wrapped because Rick put.
It's right here.
Absolutely insane numbers
I
on the
put up some
podcast
crazy
game.
numbers
Should-
on podcasts.
Should I open it up right now?
Yeah, sure.
With
Go
you
ahead.
guys right here. Your 2024 Wrapped is here. Find out
Drake.
what
Skip
ruled
the-
you're
skip-
listening this year.
Skip the music. I don't care about the music. Let me hear the podcast.
Okay, so
I'm curious about the music.
Can I be honest? I'm an Apple Music guy, believe it or not.
Me
Even
too.
though I worked for Spotify
Right
for
there with
3
you.
years.
Yeah, we're Apple Music.
Oh,
I-
so your music, but
my
is your
k-
podcast on Spotify?
Podcast or Spotify.
Okay, all right. Let's hear
Spotify
it.
is the absolute best podcast player.
Me
Okay,
versus
life
this.
moves fast. This is really cool. Luckily, we took some notes.
Nice.
Wow, I'm getting a little nostalgic. Look at this. You listened for 10,296 minutes this year.
Wow.
That puts you in the top 32% of listeners worldwide.
Wait, how many?
10,000.
930.
Your biggest listening day was
10,000?
May 6th with 168 minutes. Where do you find the time? It says. You played 231 songs this year. Those are 100% my kids. For some reason, they think that Spotify is way cooler. And one song again and again and again. And your top song was Doja by Central C.
Oh, so this is the music part.
She don't listen to... No, what is it? UK rap. Yeah, this is the music.
How many minutes did you spend listening to podcasts, Rick?
You streamed it
PT.
43 times.
10,000 is like the rookiest shit I've ever heard.
Oh, wow.
My
I
number,
got 33,000 on podcast listens this year.
PT, I've got 113,000.
Wow.
What
Explains
the
why you're not
fuck?
We did the math.
Hey, you've got an issue there, man.
An
That is-
issue. That's 78 days of the year.
That's
That's
like
that is fucking mental.
1,883 hours and 78 days.
That's
if we're
You need
doing
to
conversion.
talk
That's like
to someone
20%
about that,
of the
man.
year you spent listening to podcasts.
And you work on a podcast.
I was going
That
to say,
is
and he,
the
does,
one
he,
right now.
he doesn't even listen to this podcast out of work. So add in another 4 hours, 3 times a week. You do the math
What
on
podcast
that.
are you listening to, man?
It's funny you ask. I did a Spotify Wrapped. I actually know which podcast.
I mean, I'm literally in the middle of my Spotify rap. that
yeah,
I'm-
you're
His
putting up
numbers way more
10K.
exciting.
You're not.
His numbers
We
are
were
way
all
more
this combo's
exciting.
over.
Ariel,
This
we're
combo's over.
very curious about the podcast, and then you're like, I listen
Well,
to Central C.
I'm going in the
10,000 times.
I'm going in the order here.
All right. Get to the podcast.
No. But actually, I'm
Fucking
actually
flex.
fascinating. I'm fascinated by this. 100,000 seems absurd.
113,000.
Also-
So he's 103,000 more than you.
Okay, but here's the thing.
10x.
Are you doing like the 2x thing?
I don't ever change the speed. Never.
I feel like you used to be that guy.
Not ever once.
You're
tried
listening
it,
into
tried
normal
it
speed.
one time and said this will never happen again.
All right,
Yeah,
let's
I
hear
don't
it.
do
Let's
that
hear
either,
it.
I know.
It's gonna be some like
Top 5.
yeah, it's gonna be some like movie shit, some comedy
Wow.
shit.
Wait, what's wrong with movies?
The Big Picture.
There it
Number
is.
1, a movie podcast from The Ringer.
Legit, never heard of it.
Number 2, yeah, you wouldn't have. It's like
Come on, man. Jesus.
hardcore movie shit.
All right,
Number 2, BS, Bill Simmons podcast.
heard of it.
Number 3, Comedy Bang Bang, an improv comedy podcast.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely incredible. Number 4, The Ringerverse. That's The Ringer's like pop culture, nerd culture.
Yep.
And number
Chuck
5,
Mendenhall,
Rewatchables,
veteran.
another Ringer movie. So like
Big
a
Ringer
brand.
Wow.
fan over here.
Earlier you
Big
told me you
Ringer
4 out of
fan.
5. 4 out of 5.
You
Bro,
mentioned the last podcast on the left. Did that not make the list anymore? Or
No, that was not mine.
oh, okay.
Bro, you should have come with me to the Ringer when I was there for 3 years.
I wish.
You're such a big fan.
Would have been a nice little collaboration there.
Anyway, back to my list.
Yeah, let's hear your
top
list.
songs: Doja, Sicko Mode, Goosebumps, Run It Up, and IDGAF.
Goosebumps with Travis Scott, the lads are into, is it?
Okay, here. Wait, you spent 5,542 minutes listening to podcasts this year. That's it? How did I go down?
Rookie.
That's
Not even
pathetic.
like you should be ashamed.
Your
of
top
yourself.
podcast
That's
topic
like an
was
episode
sports.
of your show.
I text this guy Ariel about podcasts all the time, thinking that we're this is kinship. Like he's listening to podcasts. This guy listens to 3 seconds and then turns it off.
Yeah.
Who
He doesn't have time to call his best friend for 5 minutes. You think he has time to listen to a podcast?
You call yourself a podcaster? What is this? 5,000.
If you do send Ariel a podcast to listen to, do you ever notice he just says whatever they say in the first minute? So
Clearly.
Wow.
5,000.
Crazy. This is crazy.
You do that, Ariel. You know you do.
I'm 20x. I'm 20x.
Exactly what it says in the title.
All right, well, here it is. Top 5. Number 1, Bill Simmons podcast. Number 2, The Ringer MMA Show. Shout out.
And big Ringer fans over here.
I mean, it was
Let's see if there's some applications.
literally my show. Number 3, The Ringer Wrestling Show. Number 4, The Ariel Helwani Show. And number 5, Call Me Back. That is
3 of the top
Call Me
5,
Back?
or 2 of the top 5 you host yourself.
Yes.
So you're just
By the
listening
way,
back to yourself.
why isn't the MMA Hour on there? That's weird.
Sounds like you didn't put the
What a
hours
fan.
in.
What is Call Me Back?
Call Me Back is a
It's only
political, is a more of a
okay.
political
I
podcast.
wonder. I don't know it.
Yeah.
I thought you used to listen to Men in Coats, right? Or what was it called?
PT33. I'm impressed.
Men in Blazers.
You're doing some work. You're doing.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
it
now
was
it's coming out. He
Jordan
says he's
numbers
the
there
biggest
until I
Men in
heard yours,
Blazers
man.
fan.
It's
He's not
crazy.
gonna make his top 5.
I'm ashamed of myself after hearing Rick's.
By the way, can I tell you the God's honest truth? I have noticed, and I don't know when I got it. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago. But ever since I got YouTube Premium, I've noticed that I choose to just listen to it on YouTube.
That makes sense.
So
yeah.
whatever that breakdown is, I bet like there are times where I'm like, oh, this is up. Let me. I don't know why. I don't know if it's less clunky.
Wait, so you don't watch the visual, but
No, I
you're
just put it in my
listening to
pocket. Yeah, but you
Oh,
can
that's
like
interesting.
you can with YouTube Premium, you can like go and do other things. You
What
know,
do you mean? Oh,
I
You
feel
can
like
minimize.
relate to our fans more now.
Premium, shout out.
I'm just saying
Yeah, shout out to YouTube.
this is not taking it into account. There's so
I
much
still haven't got
intel.
YouTube Premium.
Oh, you're missing out.
behind the times.
Every time an ad comes on, I hear
telling me
it, like,
Spotify's
GC
not
in my
counting
head
YouTube's
going,
number?
"What are you doing? You're living in the Stone Age." I'm like, "I know I
No,
am."
it's worth it.
It's so worth it.
Yeah.
It's actually it's nearly a necessity at this point. The way the ads are.
The downloading is the big feature. Ah, horrible news.
what?
3-0, 3-0, Jeremy Doku. By the way, how am I updating you guys? You guys are supposed to be updating me. There it is.
Are
Thanks.
you watching
Appreciate
it live?
that. No, the
Watch
app
it on YouTube.
for some reason I get this Apple thing now,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
and it's like you see this?
Your notifications are ahead of ours.
Oh,
our
Liverpool
live
draw.
stream.
Liverpool got one back.
So anyway, we do have some more super chatters to get to.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so James Fallon Cote, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ariel, I'm dying for an update on your wife's composting saga.
Oh,
It seemed like it was a fairly aimless process at the start, and I'd love to see if it has evolved. Love from the Pacific Northwest. Message me for tips.
oh wow,
Paid
That's on
$22.22 for that.
They really are-
$22.
Legend.
I'm going to take a guess and say that they're just like an avid composter and really wants to help.
JFC.
By the way, that $22 can help us get a proper composting bin.
The city just gives those to you if you ask. Right?
Had no idea, and neither did she apparently. We are growing tomatoes back there. During the pandemic, we bought this like little thing where you can put sand, and this was like early days of the pandemic. Like no one was on the street, and we went to a hardware shop, and we went in back, and we got these massive bags of sand. Like these are the heaviest freaking bags, and then we made this little sand pit for my kids, who at the time were, 8, 6, and 4. That sand pit in the backyard has now turned into the compost area. and now we're like growing tomatoes and stuff out of there. And she's like, look at these tomatoes. I'm like, this is coming out of the sand pit? Like,
I'm so sorry. It's visual in my head. It's just,
yeah,
hey, kids, check this out.
it's a scene. It's a scene, all
So
right.
it's exposed to the outside, right? It's not encased in anything. Like you
There's a
just throw
small
it in the pit.
enclosure, but I don't know what, like,
You guys built like a greenhouse around your
I would
kid's
love to
sand
build.
pit.
I would love to build a greenhouse. I don't know. Like our backyard and lawn has become almost like the Starbucks for deer, and they all just hang out there. It's like there's 8 of them, and they're just eating everything, and it's very annoying.
Pictures or didn't happen.
I could take some photos. There was also a fox back there. There was, of course, we all remember the incident with the groundhog who was playing possum, as you may recall, and then scurried off. So there's all kinds of things happening where we live. But
It's pretty exciting though.
yeah, I appreciate it.
Matt Borgeson Right. Hey, Ariel, do you plan to have everyone from the February 22nd card on before the date? And will there be fights? Will there be for the fights in Saudi, including December 21st?
Hopefully on the Ariel and Ade show, we can have a lot of those guys on. I think there was some talk of having Virgil Ortiz in the future. We got to have my guy, my big oos, my man, Joseph Parker. I'm his wise man, by the way. He has anointed me as his wise man. The Paul Heyman to
This
his
is confirmed.
Roman Reigns. Oh, 100%. It's
I love
1,000%.
I love
I'm
that.
all in on Big Joseph, and I love Daniel Dubois. I mean, I was the one who was backing Daniel Dubois when the entire country turned their backs on him and called him a quitter when he broke his orbital against Joe Joyce. I was watching that fight. It was at some hall, not York Hall, but another one, name escaping me, on BT Sport in November of 2020. I mean, would I be able to rifle off these little nuggets if I wasn't such a big boxing guy? Probably not. But I love Joseph Parker. I love his story. I love what he has done as of late, and I love that he's getting this opportunity. So, yes, the answer is yes. We will get a lot of those guys on, including maybe Big Turkey once again. Anything else?
Sleeto would love to know where to order the Dubai chocolate.
Oh, I got that from a place called
Nuts Factory.
Nuts Factory.
Shout out to Sleeto, legend.
Scale of 1 to 10, what are you giving it?
A 10, actually. It is actually incredible.
In addition to that, they also had s'mores. So I gave you guys the original.
S'mores Dubai chocolate.
S'mores Dubai chocolate.
Wow.
I was skeptical.
You gonna bring it tomorrow?
Finished it. Can buy more, obviously. Skeptical, but pretty good. Not as good as the original. We also got peanut butter and jelly. Solid.
Not as good as the original.
I would go original s'mores, peanut butter and jelly, and they had birthday cake, which I just said, nah.
I do have to
I don't
say,
fucks with that.
when you bring treats, they've always been 10 out of 10. Like, you've talked about this on the show. You're like, I like to bring treats, but you did the wine gummies. You did
Oh, the wine gummies were good.
Now the Dubai chocolate, bagels the other. Damn.
Are you trying to
Set the
say
bar
that
pretty
like
high.
I'm
I'm
just
missing
like,
out on a lot here.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie.
I'm
The
just
glazing's
You know,
real.
it's getting close to the holidays.
stop the glaze, as the kids would say. Anything else?
Yeah, so Cloudus Lawn, their first super chat. When the refs step in between a downed and standing opponent instead of letting the fighters catch each other coming up, is there a rule about that?
Wait, let me read it again.
Cloudus Lawn. Cloudy's Lawn.
Cloudy's lawn. Is there a rule about that? When the ref steps in between a down.
So when one fighter's on the ground and let's say somebody's standing there just like kicking their legs and doing things like that, that's what he's referring to. Because what you'll often see is the referee goes in and welcome. Whoa,
Wow.
Frank,
Where did that go?
where did that come from?
No context either.
Was that
It's
just
been
like
raining.
is it a weather update? What
I was
happened? Is it
frantically
raining
typing
outside?
yes, and I hit the soundboard.
The
Sorry.
Cloudy's Lawn got him thinking of rain.
Yeah, Cloudy's lawn. And you see the referee step in and then stop the fighter from kicking their legs and then moving to the side. I actually don't know per the rule book because I haven't really like dove into it in that capacity. I have to imagine that there's some kind of thing that when the referee is trying to change the plane of the action, right? Because now the action is happening on the ground and he's standing that other fighter up. That's when you're not allowed to strike them in that time that the referee is intervening. If the referee is not intervening, then they could. If that fighter was trying to stand up while the referee was not intervening, I imagine that other fighter could take a free shot at them if they wanted. But oftentimes what you'll see is because the action has either stalled out or they're feeling like this is not an engaging combat scenario, the referee is in the middle there, and that's why you can't do the strike. I don't think it has to do with necessarily like them not wanting fighters to get struck in certain positions. I think it's just the referee is now here trying to change where this fight is happening from the ground and moving them back to their feet. So I think it's more about the referee stepping in than it is about the position of the action. PT,
Yeah,
back me
usually-
up. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. And usually the ref will actually look at the standing fighter to the point where they're like, do you want this person standing
Do you want to be on the ground with them or do you
Yeah.
want to be standing? They're giving that fighter
Make up
the
your mind.
opportunity.
We'll take
Yeah,
a brief
yeah,
brief pause to get them both standing and
Yeah.
back to action.
Yeah.
That
So
was phenomenal.
it's not necessarily, I think, about like them not wanting somebody to get hit. It's more about, are you guys going to be on the ground or are you going to be standing? That's the decision.
Anything else?
Just one more here
we nailed
from Dave. When we get an Ant Evans interview on the show,
Wow.
that's what the people really want.
That is 1,000% from Ant
Ant's
Evans.
burner account
Yes.
asks when is
Good to know. I want to know how he came up with the name Dave Sandine.
Yeah.
He also needs to respond to the various steroid allegations that have been levied at him.
Wow.
For Ant Evans.
Wow.
That have been levied at Ant?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big
Yeah.
dude. Actually, I don't know if there is any allegations.
Wow.
I think he opened
No, it's
using
just open. Yeah, he's.
You're the one that's levying the steroid allegations, and I think he was just like, yeah, I'm on steroids.
Ant did just say that there is no relation between the two.
Between him and Dave Sandine?
Correct.
Correct.
He's like
yeah,
The
'cause
Rock,
he made
for
up the
fuck's sake.
name. It's not a real person.
Nobody believes me that he's 7 foot tall and 320 pounds.
Oh,
And
he's a beast. He's a tank, dare I say. He is a tank. We don't have the other tank, but he is a tank. Couple more. James Portland. Hola, Ariel. I've been watching these silly blind ranking videos on YouTube and thought of one. Can you ask NYR to blindly rank these people that have Jack in their name? If you're not familiar, you say one person at a time and have him place a 1 through 5 next to it. So you, like, I say a name and then you have to slot them. You get it?
I missed the first half of this. Sorry.
Okay, so
it's
I'm
a
gonna.
blind ranking. You know,
It's a
like,
blind ranking.
Oh, yeah. I
people
love
with
those.
Jack in
I've
their
seen
name.
those on TikTok.
Okay. These are
Wait,
all.
who's doing the ranking? You are or I?
I'm giving you the name. You do the ranking.
I'm doing it. Let's go.
Jack Harlow,
5,
BoJack Horseman,
4,
Jack Della Maddalena,
2,
Hugh Jackman,
1,
Eric Jackman.
3. Yeah, that makes sense. That's perfect. Damn, I knew.
You're not higher than
I
BoJack.
You're on
that.
fire.
We found his
It's
burner
on
account.
fire.
That was sick.
Flip Eric Jackman and BoJack Horseman.
That was sick.
Can I say something?
Killed that.
Who's BoJack Horseman?
It's a cartoon.
Netflix series, voiced by the great Will Arnett. My voice
Wow.
doppelganger, as some have said.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a
I
good.
hear
yeah.
that.
I can hear it.
Deep but soft too. Like there's like a it's
Sexy,
sexy for sure.
sure.
I had to do one of those
Appealing.
for boxing, pound for pound with DAZN, and people got so mad. They're like, "This fucking guy!" Arr!"
It's impossible
I like
to get it right.
A blind ranking is fun though because nobody's gonna blame you. if you come
Oh,
out
you
with
did a
shit.
blind ranking and people got pissed. I thought you meant you did a voiceover and people got pissed.
No,
Hey,
no, no.
By the way, can you do like GMC? Can you just say like, can you do like a fake commercial right now, GC? I want to hear the
Oh yeah.
No, GMC, I need a script. I can't go off the dome.
All right.
Just like Will Arnett.
Maybe on Boys in the
Exactly,
Back.
exactly. Yeah, boys on the back, hand me a script and we'll do something.
My old friend Abhisek, namaste from India, Ariel. There's a big rumor going around, and I'm hoping you can enlighten us and clear it once and for all. When Turkey Al Sheikh brings you to the same room as Dana, word on the street is that you'll point to the ground like Max, and both of you will start swinging. This way, you can finally bury the hatchet. Is there any truth to this? Absolutely not. I don't know who's making up these rumors, but I would never do such a thing. I am here. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. That's
So it's gonna get awkward on the spaceship when you're on your way to the moon. Like it's
what about
I
that
don't wanna-
zinger, huh? He really got me with that one. My dad loved it, by the way. My dad was cracking up at that. My dad really enjoys those chats, and he thought it was good to make light. You see, I'm not that sensitive. I can make light of my issues. But one day we will all come together and sing Kumbaya. Last one, Matt Moe. Sup, Ariel? Question for you and the crew. What was the worst punishment you got as a kid from your parents growing up? I'll give you one. My mom used to hit me with the peek. She's going to be so mad at me for bringing this up, but it was a peek, and it was a sewing needle, and she would peek our hands right here.
Wow, like when you got in trouble, they would do this.
Yeah, legit.
You
Like
had to,
this
like,
is like
sit
this is
still?
like old school
Yeah.
Lebanon torture.
I got the
Was it
wooden
effective?
spoon.
You got the wooden spoon?
Got the
Yeah, the
spoon.
belt.
100%.
I got the clothes hanger.
I got
Those are-
actually like my mouth washed out with soap one time.
Oh,
I've also had
Yeah.
that.
What
Was
did
it
you
a bar of
say?
soap or hand like liquid?
It was a bar of soap, like
Nice.
rubbed it on my tongue and stuff. I don't know. I probably
It-
said the F word at like 6 years old or something. I had older brothers.
It's tough.
6? Well, you're late. There's some spankings and stuff like that, but that was never the physical stuff was never the worst. It was like you can't go to this place.
Yes,
you
I
can't go
agree.
to this park. You can't go to this party. That was the shit I could not abide by. I would lose my mind.
It was the I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
The spanking.
Nah, my
kills
parents were
you.
never disappointed.
There's nothing
That's a
worse
huge
than
drink.
when the mom was like, all right, I'm not going to do the spanking. Just wait till your father gets home. And then you just have to dread it
Anticipated.
all day.
Yeah.
Also, I would get the sandal. Like my dad wears.
Oh yeah.
Throw it at you?
No, like
Oh, to the back of the hide.
I see that
Yeah.
on Twitter called
Yeah.
the chunkla, right?
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, and he says chunk.
My ma could take, like, say if you're running from her, say if you've done something and you're like, shit, I'm gonna get out of here. My ma could take off a slipper. She did this once. I was running up the stairs and she threw the slipper and it caught in between my legs and I fell on the stairs and
Wow.
I went all the way.
God, that's
Your
good.
mom is Batman.
That is
I'm
good.
going down the stairs and I'm just going, oh fuck, like I'm just rolling down the stairs. to
She
my
didn't have
doom.
to tell you twice.
She boloed
No.
you. She hit you with
Yeah.
the little.
My
trip
mom
up
would
on
actually
the
do a
wrist.
thing like in public, like when she wouldn't yell at us and she would just scream me and like squeeze me and my brother's arms like so tight to like get us to stop misbehaving. God, good
those are
time.
the days. I mean, don't do anything like that, to be honest. But those are fun
Yeah.
times. We can now look back with great fondness and nostalgia at those days. All right, 2 more super chats. What do we got?
Alec in the Slice asks, question for Frank and the rest of the crew, is anyone still drinking balls?
Wow.
The answer is yes, I will drink balls
balls?
until I die.
Is that
I thought
true?
you had a
fact,
heart-
when
I
you
thought
get
had
the
a
news-
heart issue.
When you get the news that I died, I want the first thought to be, I wonder if it was the balls that did it.
I won't wonder that actually. I'll know that it's the balls.
I think Carl
What
would
is
refer
balls?
to these as the flats.
I think he's bullshitting. I
Good
can't
one.
remember the last time
I love-
I
I
saw
don't
you
think
with
he
balls
actually
in the
even
mouth.
likes the drink.
Yes, I
think
cannot
this is
remember
a
the
bit.
last time I saw you with balls in your mouth.
Well, you should come by tonight.
Oh my. I think Frank was the only consumer.
I had it one time and my heart started beating funny.
What is it? What
That's how
the
you know
fuck
it's
is
worth it.
balls?
It's just like an energy drink. It's
Oh, I hate
BAWLS.
Guarana soda. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Terrence Leverett writes, have you ever thought of doing a referee minute segment where you ask former or current refs on controversial
Oh.
calls for MMA b-ball?
We've had some refs on the show in the past, but they don't love to come on, and there's not a ton of them that are willing to do interviews and whatnot. So it's not a bad idea, to be honest, but hard to get them. Hard to get officials, judges, those cats. Hard to get those cats to come on. But it's a good idea. I think that is a fun one. I like those segments, like the doctor segment that we had, or talking to coaches or trainers, etc. I like that stuff a lot. Appreciate everyone who has sent us some super chats, some love. Appreciate all the questions as well. Thanks for watching this video. Hey, before you go, do me a favor, hit that sub button, give us a thumbs up, hit the little bell thingy as well. Leave us a nice comment or two. We appreciate you all very much.